Hi, now this video will prove to you beyond the shadow of a doubt that you do not have to be an extroverted, loud YouTube presenter to be extremely successful on YouTube. In this video, we're going to be looking at a video by Marques Brownlee, and we're going to be analyzing his presenting style, his talking to the camera style. He is obviously a tech reviewer. I'm sure you've come across him. He's got about 21 million subscribers now, and his videos just at an average get 1 million views minimum. So there's a lot to be learned here from him in terms of his unique presenting style. And as always, I'm going to be analyzing that from my perspective as the creator of method presenting, as a former actor or sometimes still actor, as a YouTuber with a lot of history, and also, of course, in my function here as a coach that's helping you to communicate and speak effectively on camera and in real life. Let's take one of his recent videos at random, and this one is called...
So this is peak slab phone, for now anyway. We gotta talk about it. So this is the Oppo Find X9 Ultra. By the time you see this, I've been testing it for almost a month. It is ridiculous. And it's got me thinking a lot about peak slab phone, which is of course the moving goalpost.
What's your first impression of him, as we always ask? If you had to describe him to a friend, what are the characteristics that you would say he is like? Stop the video if you have to, but drop it in the comments if you can. That would be great. Then we can compare notes. And why I'm asking you to do it is actually really helpful for you to analyze first before I say anything. Now, for me, I would say thoughtful, authentic, and very chill. Thoughtful, authentic, chill. Thoughtful because you can really see his mind working while he's coming up with the next word, while he's sort of stopping sometimes. It creates a very thoughtful vibe, also with the music in the background. Authentic, he's very relaxed, very chilled, and it feels very intimate and chill at the same time. Like he doesn't rush, he doesn't make an extra effort. And that's always a great sign for authenticity. So if you're somebody that wants to come across very authentic because you have maybe a specific kind of audience, the key might be a bit like what Marques is doing here, to be very relaxed and be very thoughtful and take it not so fast. And this is one of the great things I like about him, that he is very different from the usual big, loud-mouthed YouTube presenter type people that make it big. He's just really like having a bit of a chat with us. So those are my thoughts about him and his first impression on me. Impact energies. What are the kind of impact energies he's using predominantly? And if you're not familiar with impact energies yet, I see every communication, everything you're saying as a physical action. And if you do that, you become very compelling and you start to actually have an influence on people. So these impact energies are really useful to find shortcuts for what you actually want to achieve and to remind yourself how you want to do it. There are 8 in this system. For me, what he's doing is a lot dabbing and sometimes also stroking. So dabbing is light, direct, and quick. Stroking is light, direct, and sustained. And, you know, it really is what the word describes. Dabbing is like, you know, it's a bit like you speaking like this. And stroking, it would be like you're stroking a cat and you sound a little bit more like this. And you speak to the camera like this. You hear that stroking sort of feeling that you get from when I'm speaking to you. That's what we're talking about. So he's predominantly, I think, dabbing and sometimes stroking a little bit. So it shows that you don't have to be strong all the time. If you refine it like Marques does, you have a really great way of also intriguing the audience and keeping them involved. Psychological activities. Let's have a look at that. And let's go back to the very beginning because he does something very clear here, which I love.
So this is peak slab phone, for now anyway. We gotta talk about it.
Okay, listen to just what he did there at the beginning. What was he trying to do to us? Psychologically, what was he doing to us? I'm going to say what I think he's doing. At this point, he's actually intriguing us. So this is peak smartphone. He could have gone further with it, but with the music and with his sort of hesitant style at the beginning, it definitely is drawing us in, right? So the word would be intriguing. So think about times in your videos where you want to create the intrigue with something. It's a very powerful thing because it makes us want to figure out what's going on, right? So intriguing is something that he does regularly. He also explains, which is a very straightforward activity. It's like, yeah, I'm explaining this to you, and I'm explaining this to you, and I'm sharing this, and I'm explaining this. It has a certain tone to it. It's not one of the most intense activities, psychological activities. And sometimes he also does amuse us. So he throws in a little entertaining thing, but in a very subtle way. So he's not that massively full of range when it comes to psychological activities like maybe some other people are. He's not very dynamic with it, but he does it in a subtle way and also uses music to support the point. How does he want to make us feel? That's another great question that you want to ask yourself. How do I want to make my audience feel? If you want to have more influence and you want to feel connected to your audience and you want them to feel you, you need to actually think about how do I want to make them feel? And for him, he's trying to make us feel respected, as I said already, intrigued, included as well is a really important one, and a bit like a friend.
A new phone is like 20 slides about just camera stuff. I actually just did this little experiment that I've been posting on Shorts, and maybe leave a like or comment on this video if you want to see like a long form breakdown.
It feels like a conversation with somebody that, while you're not talking, but they're talking to you. He just has this very laid-back conversational approach. And he makes you feel included in that process. It's a bit like you're chilling with a guy that you know. If you're more of an introvert, for example, or you're more of a chill person yourself, this is a great way to get really good at creating that relationship and that intimacy that you really feel he's creating. Because you never feel like he's talking to anybody other than you. And that the first step is, of course, he's only talking to one person in his mind. And it's you, the one viewer that's watching it right now, because we're all watching videos usually by ourselves. So this is a really interesting and great approach. Let's look at this intonation, actually. And you've already heard a few examples, but let's look at another example when he's talking a little bit more. Okay, let's see.
Camera system is as good as a regular camera. And if we can achieve that, then we can say it's a great camera. Unfortunately, this is a battle against physics that can never fully be won, as much as these are doing a hell of a job at getting close.
Interesting, right? He has definitely a small range in terms of like his pitch. He's also got a smaller range in terms of dynamics, but within that, he's very good at creating these little micro pauses that make you wait for the next word. So sometimes he's using a bit of upspeak. So he's just keeping going, and it's a bit like that. So he does not seem to be particularly like a lot of other male presenters or YouTubers specifically who always try to have a downward inflection. He's much more relaxed with that and very much within his comfortable range. And that's something that really adds to his style. I'd probably describe his style as the ultimate conversational style. It really feels like we're in a conversation one-on-one with a friend who's like chatting to us. Body language wise, I think he's just so chill and just draws you in with minimal movements, simple gestures, clarity about what he's doing. There's nothing really out of place, nothing over the top. It is a pleasure to listen to him and to see him being very chill and comfortable and, you know, take his time. And it makes you just feel that you want to be with him for the duration of the video. And I think it's also helped by the fact that he has objects that he's describing and showing. If he was continuously, you know, pushing us to do this or that or whatever, if there was a lot going on all the time, then those objects would not be showcased in the same way. So I believe this style of more chilled presenting could be particularly helpful for people that do reviews or that show objects or describe things or things like that where there are other things involved. Another big question is, what is your real objective for the video? You want to ask yourself that every time. Now with Marques, it's quite interesting. He seems incredibly nonchalant about the end of his video. Let's have a look at it.
On this X9 Ultra, so if you want to see what the footage from this phone looks like, I'll link up below the like button. It is so good. Thanks for watching, and I'm very curious to see your comments below what you think of peak slab phone in 2026. Catch you in the next one.
And there you have it. That is his very chilled out, very much on brand exit from this video. It's not like, check this out right now. No, it's like, hey, yeah, I leave this here for you. Chill. Otherwise, thanks. The overall objective, on the other hand, I think is just to build trust with his audience. And I think that works really well. If you are a tech reviewer, it's obviously going to be very important for you to have trust with the audience. I think he really banks a lot of that trust with the way that he communicates with the camera as well. So what makes him memorable as a presenter, as a YouTuber? I think what makes him most memorable must be his very chill, one-on-one approach, conversational to the extreme, so intimate conversing with us. It's a bit like having a conversation with somebody and you're not talking, but they know that you could be saying something at any moment. And that's what this feels like. All in all, if you're an introvert and you've always been wondering, oh my God, do I have to be loud? Do I have to be energized all the time? I find it so hard. No, as you can see, this is a great example of somebody who's done it a different way, who's done it by being very smart about the little things, by intriguing you, by making you feel like you're part of it. And that feels great for a lot of people. So what is your biggest takeaway from Marques and this video and the breakdown that we just did? I'd be really curious to hear it in the comments. And if you have not seen my breakdown of how Ed Lawrence, the YouTube growth expert, talks to the camera, then check out this video here.